Every great success is built on small, daily habits. The world's most influential leaders, Elon Musk, Warren Buffett, Bill Gates, Jeff Bezos, and Mark Zuckerberg, did not reach the top by chance. They followed simple routines that shaped their minds, their focus, and their futures. In this video, we will explore the powerful habits behind their extraordinary achievements. If you enjoy learning from the lives of successful people and want more inspiring stories, don't forget to subscribe to the channel, like this video, and share it with your friends. Your support helps us keep creating motivating content for you. Elon Musk's habit: working hard and long hours. Elon Musk is one of the most remarkable entrepreneurs of our time. He is the driving force behind Tesla, SpaceX, Neuralink, and several other ambitious companies. People admire his intelligence, his bold vision, and his willingness to take risks. But when we look closely at his life, there is one habit that stands above the rest. It is his habit of working extremely hard and putting in very long hours. This habit is central to who he is and how he has achieved so much. And it is the story I want to share with you. When people say Elon Musk works hard, they do not mean he works like an ordinary busy person. Musk often puts in 80 to 100 hours every single week. To understand how extreme that is, think about this. A normal full-time job is around 40 hours per week. Musk works double or even triple that amount, week after week. His schedule is so packed that he sometimes divides his day into 5-minute blocks, planning almost every moment so that he does not waste time. This is not just discipline. It is an intense commitment to his goals. There have been moments when Musk's hard work became legendary. During Tesla's production hell, when the company was struggling to build enough cars, Musk chose to sleep in the factory. He did not go home at night. Instead, he slept on a couch or even on the floor so that he could be close to the work and solve problems as quickly as possible. That image of a billionaire sleeping in his factory shows the depth of his dedication. For him, work is not separate from life. Work is life. Why does he push himself so hard? One reason is his enormous vision. Musk is not satisfied with small projects. He does not want to just make cars. He wants to change the entire car industry and push the world toward clean energy. He does not want to simply launch rockets. He wants humanity to become a multiplanetary species and eventually live on Mars. These are not ordinary dreams. They are bold, world-changing ambitions. To chase goals of this scale, he feels he must give everything he has. Another reason is urgency. Musk often says that time is short. Climate change is happening now. If we do not switch to clean energy soon, it may be too late. If we do not start building the technology to explore space, humanity may remain vulnerable to disasters on Earth. He feels that the clock is ticking and that he cannot afford to slow down. That sense of urgency fuels his long hours and intense focus. Musk also believes in leading by example. He knows that employees watch their leaders closely. If the boss works harder than anyone else, the team will feel motivated to push themselves too. Musk has said that as a leader, you cannot expect people to give their best unless you are willing to give even more yourself. His long hours are not only about his own work, but also about setting the tone for his entire company. This habit has paid off in dramatic ways. Tesla nearly collapsed in 2008. The company was running out of money and could not produce cars at scale. Musk invested his own fortune and worked tirelessly to keep Tesla alive. Today, Tesla is one of the most valuable car companies in the world and a leader in electric vehicles. SpaceX also faced disaster in its early days. Its first 3 rocket launches failed. Many experts predicted the company would go bankrupt. But Musk and his team kept working day and night until the fourth launch finally succeeded. That single success saved SpaceX and proved that private companies could compete in space exploration. Because of his relentless work ethic, Musk moves faster than most competitors. Tesla develops new cars and features at a pace that traditional car companies struggle to match. SpaceX builds rockets and spacecraft more quickly and cheaply than older space organizations. Musk's personal drive sets a rhythm that accelerates innovation in his companies. Of course, this habit comes with a cost. Working 80 to 100 hours per week is not healthy for most people. Musk has admitted that it is painful. He often sacrifices sleep, relaxation, and time with his family. He has spoken openly about the stress and exhaustion he sometimes feels. He has even said he does not recommend this lifestyle for everyone, but he feels it is necessary for the mission he has chosen. For him, the sacrifices are worth it. There are lessons we can all learn from Musk's extreme habit, even if we do not copy it completely. One lesson is that passion fuels effort. Musk works so hard because he truly believes in what he is doing. When you care deeply about your work, you can give it more energy and time. Another lesson is the importance of focus. Musk does not spend his day on small distractions. He uses every minute wisely. We may not need to schedule 5-minute blocks, but we can all benefit from using our time more carefully. A third lesson is about leadership. If you want others to follow you, you must show them your own commitment. Musk's team sees him working harder than anyone else, and that motivates them to push forward. Finally, Musk teaches us that growth happens beyond comfort. True progress sometimes requires sacrifice and hard effort. Many people around the world feel inspired by Musk. They may not want to live his lifestyle, but they admire his determination. In a time when many give up quickly, Musk shows what can happen when you refuse to quit. His story is a reminder that great achievements are not just about talent or luck. They come from persistence, grit, and the willingness to put in extraordinary effort. At the same time, it is important to see his story with balance. Working endlessly is not the right path for everyone. Health, relationships, and rest are also important. Musk himself has said that he sometimes pushes too far. The real takeaway may be that in moments of great importance, it is worth working harder than usual. But we should not forget the other parts of life that give us happiness and strength. When we think of Elon Musk, we often think about rockets, electric cars, and bold dreams for the future. But behind those achievements lies a simple and powerful habit. He works harder than almost anyone else. He pushes himself far beyond normal limits because he believes the mission demands it. That habit of relentless effort is the engine behind his success. And so the story of Elon Musk's work ethic is not only about one man, it is a lesson for all of us. If you find a mission that truly matters to you, if you care deeply enough, you too can unlock energy and commitment you never knew you had. You may not need to work 100 hours per week, but you can still put in more focus, more persistence, and more heart than you thought possible. That is the spirit of Elon Musk's habit, and it is the reason he has achieved things that once seemed impossible. Warren Buffett's habit, reading and learning every day. Warren Buffett is one of the most successful investors in history. People call him the Oracle of Omaha because he comes from Omaha, Nebraska, and because of his wisdom when it comes to money and business. He has spent decades building Berkshire Hathaway, a company that owns and invests in many businesses around the world. Today, Buffett is not only one of the richest men alive, but also one of the most respected voices in finance. When people ask him the secret to his success, he often points to a simple but powerful habit: reading and learning every single day. Buffett spends about 5 to 6 hours every day reading. That is almost like a full-time job. He reads newspapers, annual company reports, financial statements, books about business, and even works on history, science, and human behavior. He once explained that he tries to read about 500 pages every single day. For him, reading is not a casual activity. It is his way of building knowledge brick by brick, day after day, year after year. He often compares knowledge to compound interest. Just as money grows when you invest it over time, knowledge grows when you add to it steadily, and it becomes more powerful with the years. This habit has been part of him since childhood. As a boy, he spent hours in libraries. He read books on investing before he was even a teenager. When he was a young man, he tried to read every single book on finance and investing available in the Omaha Public Library. That hunger for knowledge never left him. Even today, in his 90s, Buffett continues to spend most of his day with books and papers, reading and thinking. Why does he do this? One reason is preparation. Buffett does not believe in guessing the future. He believes in preparing for it. By reading constantly, he builds a mental database of information that allows him to recognize good opportunities when they appear. When most people are confused or uncertain, Buffett already has the background knowledge to make smart decisions. Another reason is independent thinking. Buffett does not simply follow the crowd. By reading widely and deeply, he develops his own opinions. He once said that the key to investing is to be fearful when others are greedy and greedy when others are fearful. This contrarian approach is possible only because he thinks for himself, and his reading habit gives him the confidence to do so. A third reason is that he simply loves it. Reading is not a chore for him. It is his passion. He enjoys learning. He enjoys thinking. Because he loves the process, it is easy for him to keep the habit for decades. The results of this habit are clear. Buffett has built one of the greatest investment records in history. His decisions are not made in a rush. They are the product of deep study and careful thought. For example, when he decides to invest in a company, it is often because he has read the company's reports for years and understands it better than almost anyone else. He does not need to move fast. He waits patiently until the right moment comes, and then he acts with confidence. That patience is possible only because of the knowledge he builds every day. Reading has also given him a calm mindset. During financial crises, when many investors panic and sell their stocks in fear, Buffett remains steady. He can do this because he understands history. He knows that markets rise and fall and that strong businesses survive over time. His deep reading gives him the perspective to stay calm when others lose their heads. This habit has also shaped his partnership with Charlie Munger, his closest friend and business partner. Munger is also a voracious reader. The two men often spend hours reading and then discussing what they learned. Their partnership is not just about money. It is about sharing ideas and growing wiser together. That culture of constant learning has guided Berkshire Hathaway for decades. Buffett's advice to young people is simple: read as much as you can. He once told students that if they wanted to be successful, they should read 500 pages every day. Most people laughed because that sounds impossible. But his point was clear. Knowledge builds up over time. The more you learn, the more you understand the world, and the better your decisions will be. He often says the best investment you can ever make is in yourself. Reading is one of the cheapest and most powerful ways to invest in yourself. There are many lessons we can take from Buffett's example. One lesson is that we should make reading a daily habit. Maybe we cannot read for 5 hours a day, but even 30 minutes of reading can add up over time. Another lesson is to choose quality content. Buffett does not waste time on gossip or meaningless information. he focuses on materials that give him real knowledge, like company reports, biographies, and thoughtful books. Another lesson is patience. Just as investing works best over the long term, so does learning. The things you read today may not help you immediately, but years later, they may give you the insight you need at the right time. What makes Buffett's habit inspiring is its simplicity. Anyone can do it. You do not need millions of dollars to sit down with a book. You do not need to be a genius to read carefully and think about what you learn. His story shows that the road to wisdom is open to everyone who is willing to put in the time. Of course, reading by itself is not enough. Many people read, but few apply what they learn with the discipline that Buffett has. What makes him special is the combination of deep knowledge and calm action. He reads, he thinks, and then he patiently applies what he knows. That combination is powerful. When we look at Warren Buffett today, we see a man who has achieved extraordinary wealth and influence. But if we look closer, we see that behind all of it is a simple daily routine. Hours of reading, day after day, year after year. That habit has given him knowledge, confidence, and wisdom. It has made him calm in times of panic and bold when opportunities appear. It has built the foundation for everything he has accomplished. The lesson is clear. If you want to grow, if you want to make better decisions, if you want to succeed in your own life, start by making learning a daily habit. Pick up a book, read carefully, take time to think, and keep doing it every day. Over the years, the knowledge will compound, just like interest in a bank account. And one day, you may look back and realize that a simple habit of reading has changed your life, just as it changed the life of Warren Buffett. Bill Gates' habit, reflecting and taking notes. Bill Gates is one of the most famous names in the world. People know him as the co-founder of Microsoft, the man who helped bring personal computers into everyday life. And later, as a philanthropist who has donated billions of dollars to improve health and education around the globe. But behind his incredible success lies a simple yet powerful habit, the habit of reflection and note-taking. This practice has shaped his thinking, his decisions, and his ability to stay ahead of the curve in business and in life. Gates has always been a reader. From a young age, he loved books and spent countless hours learning about science, history, and technology. Even as an adult, he dedicates hours every week to reading. But what makes him different from most readers is how he processes what he learns. Gates does not just read passively. He actively reflects on what he is reading, asking questions, writing notes, and making connections between ideas. He often writes in the margins of books or keeps a notebook nearby to capture his thoughts. In his own words, he tries to make sense of information by challenging it, questioning it, and rephrasing it in his own way. One of the most interesting examples of this habit is what he calls his think weeks. Several times in his career, Gates has taken a week away from all meetings and distractions, isolating himself in a small cabin with nothing but books and papers. During these weeks, he reads, reflects, and writes notes. He returns with new insights, strategies, and ideas that often guide his work for years to come. Some of Microsoft's most important projects were shaped by ideas born during these think weeks. Later, when he devoted himself more to philanthropy, the same practice helped him and his foundation decide on areas where they could make the greatest impact, such as fighting malaria or improving education systems. Reflection helps Gates in several ways. First, it gives him clarity. Ideas in our minds are often unclear and scattered. By writing them down and reviewing them, Gates forces himself to organize his thoughts. Second, it strengthens his memory. Studies show that writing notes helps us remember more, and Gates uses this to his advantage by making knowledge stick. Third, reflection creates creativity. By thinking deeply and connecting ideas from different fields, Gates can come up with solutions that others might overlook. A lesson from a history book may inspire him in technology, and a discovery in science may help him think differently about public health. This habit has been crucial throughout his career. In Microsoft's early years, Gates constantly wrote memos to his team, filled with questions, ideas, and challenges. These memos guided the company's direction and showed the value of precise, thoughtful communication. Later, in his work with the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation, his reflections allowed him to navigate complex problems. Global health, for example, is not just about medicine. It is also about economics, culture, and education. By reflecting deeply, he could see the bigger picture and find strategies that made a real difference. But perhaps the most inspiring part of Gates's habit is that it is something anyone can adopt. Unlike his billions of dollars or his access to global leaders, reflection and note-taking are free. And anyone can keep a notebook, pause to think after reading, or spend time connecting ideas. The key is discipline and consistency. Gates shows us that success is not only about working harder or moving faster. Sometimes it is about slowing down, thinking deeply, and making sense of what we already know. In a world where information moves quickly and distractions are everywhere, Gates's example feels even more valuable. Many people read articles or watch videos without really absorbing them. Gates shows us the power of active engagement with knowledge. He demonstrates that reflection turns information into understanding, and understanding into action. Of course, reflection alone does not explain all of Gates's success. He is also driven, intelligent, and ambitious, but his habit of note-taking and reflection gave him an edge. It allowed him to learn faster, remember more, and connect dots across fields. It kept him curious, open-minded, and creative, even after reaching the top of his field. So what can we learn from Bill Gates's habit? The lesson is not to copy everything he does, but to see the value of slowing down and thinking. After reading a book or hearing a new idea, instead of rushing to the next thing, we can pause. We can ask, what does this mean? How does it connect to what I already know? Can I write it in my own words? Can I use this idea in my work or life? These small acts of reflection may not feel powerful in the moment, but over time, they build wisdom. When we think of Bill Gates, we see a man who helped shape modern technology and who is now working to solve some of the world's biggest problems. But if we look closer, we see that one of his greatest strengths is a simple habit anyone can practice. He reads, he reflects, and he writes. This habit has guided him for decades, and it continues to shape his impact on the world. Jeff Bezos' habit, getting enough sleep. Jeff Bezos, the founder of Amazon and one of the wealthiest people on the planet, is known for building one of the most powerful companies in history. Amazon started as a small online bookstore and grew into a global giant that sells everything from books to groceries to cloud computing services. People admire Bezos for his vision, his bold decisions, and his relentless focus on customers. But there is one personal habit that he often talks about, and it may surprise some people. Unlike Elon Musk, who is famous for working 100 hours a week, Jeff Bezos believes in the importance of getting enough sleep. For him, the habit of sleeping well is not laziness. It is a key part of making better decisions and leading effectively. Bezos has said many times that he tries to get 8 hours of sleep every night. He believes that sleep gives him energy, sharpness, and the ability to think clearly. In his own words, He wants to make fewer decisions each day, but he wants those decisions to be high quality. He argues that when you are sleep deprived, your thinking is slower, your judgment is weaker, and your patience is shorter. For someone leading a company as complex as Amazon, poor judgment could cost billions. So for Bezos, sleep is not optional. It is essential. This view may seem unusual in the business world, where many leaders pride themselves on working late into the night and sleeping only a few hours. But Bezos takes the opposite approach. He schedules his day around his natural rhythm. He likes to wake up naturally without an alarm clock. In the mornings, he spends unhurried time with his family, drinking coffee and eating breakfast with them. He does not rush to his office for early meetings. In fact, he avoids scheduling important meetings in the afternoon because he believes his mind is sharpest before lunch. He saves that time for decisions that really matter. This habit of prioritizing sleep has played a role in his success. Amazon grew not because of random guesses, but because of carefully thought-out strategies. Bezos famously talks about day one thinking, meaning that Amazon should always act like a startup, flexible, innovative, and customer-obsessed. To keep that mindset alive in a giant company, Bezos needs clarity and long-term thinking. Sleep helps him maintain that clarity. It gives him the calmness to think not just about today or tomorrow, but about the next 10 or 20 years. Bezos also believes that high-quality decisions are more important than the number of decisions. He once explained that a senior executive at his level should make only 3 good decisions a day. That is enough if those decisions are thoughtful and impactful. The habit of sleeping well supports this philosophy. Instead of being exhausted and rushing into poor choices, he ensures that when he does make a choice, it is with full energy and focus. There are lessons in this for all of us. Many people today sacrifice sleep to work longer hours, thinking it will make them more productive. But science shows that lack of sleep lowers performance, harms health, and reduces creativity. Bezos' example proves that even at the highest level of business, sleep is not a weakness, it is a strength. It is the foundation for clear thinking and smart leadership. Of course, Bezos works hard too. Building Amazon was not easy, and it demanded years of intense effort. But he balanced that effort with his belief in rest and recovery. He understands that in the long run, sustainable success comes from energy management, not just time management. By protecting his sleep, he protects his mind, his health, and his ability to think big. Today, as one of the most influential business leaders in the world, Bezos' habit of prioritizing sleep offers a refreshing perspective. It reminds us that success is not only about constant work and sacrifice, it is also about balance, self-care, and making sure that when we do act, we act with full capacity. So when we think about Jeff Bezos, we often think about Amazon's fast growth, his space company Blue Origin, or his bold vision of moving industries into space. But behind all of this is a simple habit that keeps him sharp. He sleeps well. He rests enough to stay calm, focused, and ready for the big challenges. And in his story, we see a lesson for ourselves, that sometimes the smartest thing you can do for success is not to stay up all night working, but to close your eyes, sleep deeply, and wake up ready to give your best. Mark Zuckerberg's habit: living simply and minimizing decisions. Mark Zuckerberg, the founder of Facebook and now the leader of Meta, is one of the most recognized figures in the technology world. He built a social network that connected billions of people and changed the way humans interact, share information, and communicate. Despite his enormous wealth and influence, there is one habit that defines him and surprises many. He lives simply and reduces the number of small decisions in his daily life. This habit, though it looks ordinary, has helped him focus his energy on the big challenges that matter most. One of the clearest examples of this habit is his clothing. Zuckerberg is famous for wearing the same style almost every day, a plain gray t-shirt and jeans. While he could afford the most expensive designer outfits in the world, he chooses not to. Why? Because he wants to avoid wasting mental energy on small choices like what to wear. He once explained that he wants to clear his life of unnecessary decisions so he can dedicate his mind to building products and solving important problems. For him, every ounce of mental energy counts, and he prefers to save it for decisions about technology, company strategy, and connecting the world. This habit of simplicity goes beyond clothing. Zuckerberg keeps his lifestyle relatively modest compared to other billionaires. While he owns properties and has security, his day-to-day life is surprisingly ordinary. He often drives himself to work, spends time with his wife and children, and enjoys simple activities like running or barbecuing with friends. The focus is not on luxury, but on clarity. By cutting out distractions, he can give more attention to his mission at Meta, building platforms that bring people together, developing virtual reality, and creating the metaverse. The idea behind this habit is connected to something psychologists call decision fatigue. The human brain has a limited amount of energy for making choices each day. If you spend it on small, meaningless decisions, you will have less energy for the big, important ones. By minimizing daily choices, like what to wear or how to structure his routine, Zuckerberg protects his decision-making power. This is why many other successful leaders, like Steve Jobs and Barack Obama, also followed similar habits of wearing the same style daily. Zuckerberg's simplicity also reflects his focus on mission over image. He is not trying to impress people with clothes or luxury. He wants to be judged by the impact of his work, not by his appearance. This attitude allows him to stay grounded, even as one of the world's most powerful CEOs. It reminds people that leadership is about clarity of vision, not about showing off wealth. This habit has supported him through challenges as well. Leading Facebook and now Meta has not been easy. The company has faced criticism over privacy, misinformation, and the role of social media in society. In times of crisis, a leader needs focus and clarity. Zuckerberg's simple lifestyle and reduced decision-making allow him to conserve energy for these high-stakes challenges. He spends his time thinking about long-term strategies, such as how to shift the company toward virtual and augmented reality, instead of being distracted by the small details of daily life. For ordinary people, there are lessons in Zuckerberg's habit. We may not need to wear the same t-shirt every day, but we can reduce unnecessary decisions in our lives. We can simplify routines, organize priorities, and focus our energy on the things that truly matter. The idea is not to copy his exact lifestyle, but to understand the principle. The less energy we waste on the unimportant, the more energy we have for what is important. At the same time, Zuckerberg's story shows the power of aligning life with purpose. Simplicity is not about denying yourself joy or comfort. It is about clearing space for what you care about most. For Zuckerberg, that purpose is building technology that connects people and exploring the future of human interaction. For others, the purpose may be different, but the habit of simplicity can support any mission by keeping the mind free and focused. So when we think of Mark Zuckerberg, we often picture a young billionaire in a gray t-shirt who created one of the most influential companies in the world. But behind that image is a powerful lesson. By living simply and minimizing decisions, he has created room for focus, clarity, and energy. That habit has been a quiet but essential part of his journey, helping him steer Facebook from a college project to a global platform and now into the ambitious vision of the metaverse. And in his story, we are reminded that sometimes success is not about adding more to life, but about removing the unnecessary so we can give our best to what truly matters. The stories of Elon Musk, Warren Buffett, Bill Gates, Jeff Bezos, and Mark Zuckerberg remind us that true success is built on habits. Small choices, repeated every day, shape extraordinary lives. You don't need to copy them completely, but you can take inspiration and start building habits that move you closer to your own goals. If you found this video inspiring, don't forget to subscribe to the channel, like the video, and share it with others. Together, we can keep learning from the world's most successful minds.